That's what I believe. I want to talk about the biblical hypothesis of the different documents. And the document theory is a very weak theory for those of us who are very adept and very knowledgeable about the structure of the Torah and the content of the Torah. I'm not going to bore you with details, but one of the striking facts of the hypothesis of documents, and for those who are not familiar, they claim that the Bible, or the Torah, was a composite of 4 different sources, which are called J for the Tetragrammaton people, for the E for the Lakust, P for the priesthood, and D for the ones that set up Deuteronomy. Now, I told you that there was a computer analysis of the language of the book of Genesis. In fact, I have a copy here in my home. It was made in 1985. There's been no mention of it in any of the articles in Wikipedia. But that group of scientists from Israel, they were not rabbis. They were some irreligious, some religious people who did the examination. And they discovered that there's no difference between the language of the J and the language of the E, that E and J are both the same. Now, that doesn't mean automatically that there's no documentary hypothesis, but the basis of the documentary hypothesis was totally destroyed by that computer analysis of linguistics. So I have to put this out to you. There are questions about the content of the Bible. Yes, there are questions. There's also questions about the reason for the repetition of many episodes in the Bible. Correct. There are questions regarding the use of certain words in the Bible. That's correct. However, there is no evidence that this came from different sources. Number one. Number two, let's even imagine that Moses had traditional documents from the years gone by about the past of Israel and was ordered by God to copy those documents down in a certain order. Let's say, for argument's sake, some of those documents were written by Seth, some of those documents were written by Shem, some of those documents were written by Noah, some by Melchizedek, some by Abraham. Let's assume that that is correct for a moment. But now Moses is writing them down because God is telling him to write them down. Do you think that when God tells you to write a certain document down, that this document is just an arbitrary document? Well, let's examine that for a moment. There's a phenomena called the Torah codes, and I know the statisticians among you say, but Rabbi, we've examined it and we don't hold of it. Well, I'll tell you something that you may not know. When you look at the documents, the way they have been transmitted today, those documents have an integrity at the letter level, not just an integrity at the word level. I'm just going to go review what I said in a different video. The words and key phrases and laws and individuals are there in an exact format. They're mentioned in each section by the number 7, just as Umberto Cassuto clearly identifies the 7 blessings that Isaac gave Jacob in the famous blessing of Jacob by Isaac. There are, in every story, in every section, the hero is mentioned 7 times. There are 7 actions. There are 7 cows. There are 7 sheep. Everything comes in the number 7. 7 laws, or composites of 7 laws, throughout the Torah. They're all very clearly, purposefully placed there according to the number 7. So this means that the person organizing these documents, which read like a story, took care that every element of the Torah should be within the number 7. That's number 1. Number 2, the letters themselves are in a particular order. And these letters create certain grids which bring with them certain encoded messages that are consistent throughout the Torah. And these have been discovered by the Torah codes people. And these could not have been put there. There's no way that an author, an editor could have placed them there. But once placed within the Torah, ordained by God, they become a grid which has a certain set of key words. And these key words are central throughout the Torah. And if you mess with the language, you mess with the grid, and you mess with the code. That's number 1. Number 2, they have discovered future events that have taken place with individuals, with countries of major import, and you find them encoded in equal letter passages. You take every 40th letter, 30th letter, 100th letter, 7 letters. You see the names of individuals, and you see them associated with events that were current in their times and also relevant to the topic on the page. This could not have happened by a human author. The fact that Moses might have culled this from different documents does not take away the probability that there was a divine hand, that there is a divine hand in the writing of the Bible and the Torah, which will answer my anti-cert critics. The reason why we do circumcisions, because God said so. How do I know? It's in the Torah. And the Torah, those who examine the Torah, see that it is a divine document. If you don't believe me, we can give examples of this in the videos to come.